That somebody was my sister, my older sister that lives in Corpus Christi. She was an award-winning math teacher in high school there, and then she suffered a series of strokes that left her unable to teach anymore. But when we were just kids, well, I was just a kid, she was a teenager, we sat in Shoney's at Westland Plaza in Jackson. Some of you know where that is. On a Sunday night after church. And she looked across the table at me. My nickname is Smut. Most of you know that. And she just looked across the table at me and she said, Smut, Jesus wanted me to speak to you tonight. And she told me about the resurrected Jesus. Now, I'd known about it. I grew up in a Christian home. I'd been going to a Baptist church 9 months before I was born. But suddenly it was very personal. She told me, Christ is risen. And if you know him as a risen Savior, it's because somebody told you. Maybe it was a school teacher, maybe it was a grandparent or your mom or your dad, maybe it was a brother or a sister or a friend, maybe it was somebody on television, maybe it was a really fine Christian book that you were reading. But you know Christ as the resurrected Savior because somebody somewhere told you. That's why I believe in the resurrection. Because somebody told me. Mary Magdalene didn't go to the tomb that morning expecting to find it empty. She went expecting to anoint a body. She went with a heavy heart. She went with grief. She was weeping and was totally surprised by what she found. So surprised when he first spoke to her, she didn't even recognize him. She turned and looked at him. And maybe the tears were so clouding her vision, she couldn't see who he was until he spoke her name. Here's the wonderful thing about the resurrected Christ. If you will listen with ears of faith, he will call your name because he knows your name. He said, Mary. The text seems to indicate that she rushed to him like she was going to embrace him, and he stopped her and said, you can't hold on to me. I'm between here and there. I'm between the grave and heaven, and things that are going on that are miraculous are not finished. You can't touch me. And then he gave her the mandate that remains our mandate. Go and tell the brothers. Go and tell. She told Peter and John and James and the whole crew that was there. They told their world. Their world told the next generations, who then told it to the next generations, and who kept telling it until one day, sitting in Westland Plaza at Shoney's, my sister told me. And whoever told you, they're sitting in a direct line that goes all the way back to the tomb. And if you tell somebody else, then you're doing exactly what Jesus asked us to do, to tell. I believe in the resurrection because somebody told me.